everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aussie Pomcast. And if you're not already, make sure you're liking and subscribing to see a bit more of us, as if you'd want any of that, really. But, I mean, we do have a little bit of a subscriber.
You sound like you don't even want any more of it, to be honest.
How are you going? Have you had a good week?
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for asking.
I do ask. I do care, sometimes.
That's not what you're saying outside.
Let's get into the news. And the big talking point at the moment, cost of living.
Yeah.
That's all anybody cares about. It's all I hear my relatives whinge about back home is how much it costs.
Yeah, but...
They are from Yorkshire. Disclaimer, they are from Yorkshire. They're always whinging about everything, including the cost of things. At the moment, though, I mean, this is quite staggering. So food prices are increasing at their fastest rate since 2008.
Yep.
And that's figures from last month, up 9.3%. And 7% the month before as well. So things are definitely on the up. That might not sound like a lot, but add that to your weekly food bill and that
10% on last year, yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. And some of the things that have gone up as well. I mean, this is just like, what year did you leave the UK?
I'm not telling you.
A long time
It's
ago.
a secret.
I left in 2005, and I tell you what, you could still get a bag of crisps for 30 pence back then.
Yeah, it wasn't that when I left, no.
Yeah, it's definitely gone up. But I mean, like 4 pints of milk, so that's what, 2 litres of milk, is it?
Yep.
By today's money. £1.16. They're sort of on a par with Aussie prices, but you do expect it to be cheaper in the UK, right? Well, let them have that. Get this, tins of beans.
Yep.
£3.49 on average. That's expensive for a 6-pack of beans. That is expensive. They used to be like a cheap meal.
Yeah, it used to
You know
be
when
like...
people say, oh, I'm living off beans on toast? That used to be seen as
Yeah.
a cheap meal.
Yep.
It's not anymore. Lurpak butter, get this, £3.57.
Well, they're putting security tags on it a couple of weeks ago.
I know, that's mad, isn't it? That's absolutely mad. Yeah, it's expensive right now, basically as a takeaway, and it's not going to get any cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, we're seeing it here as well. It's kind of happening all over the place at the moment, fundamentally because of the Ukraine war, some of it because of obviously difficulty getting things out of there supply-wise. But, you know, there's other impacts. There's, you know, mortgage rates are going up there. I think they're at highest now that they've been since 2013 as well. So when you add that on top of your extra grocery bills and energy, we know, and water has gone.
And you do need that.
You do need energy.
But more so over there because you need to heat your houses when it's cold.
Well, not recently, but
not
I mean, they're talking about $6,000 bills per year on power. So obviously it's gone a bit insane there with all of that stuff. So yeah, of course it bites. And, you know, they're now tipping that inflation will rise to 18% at some point, which is just ridiculous.
It's a lot. And you know what? If anybody's looking and thinking the grass is green over here, it's still expensive over here.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we're not seeing as astronomical increases here, but it's expensive. I'm noticing my bills going up. My husband complains. I mean, he's from Yorkshire. Complains about our food bill every week. And it's definitely, we're seeing it across the board. The only thing
Have microwave chips gone up?
Microwave chips. The inflation on microwave chips is an outrage. Petrol, though, is getting cheaper over here, fun fact.
Here, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is for a short period of time, and then they're going to, the excise is going to be put back on because it was a 6-month relief, and so then that's going to go up as well. So everything's just going to go up.
Yeah, it's dire everywhere, basically, is the takeaway.
Yep.
It's a difficult time to be around, really, isn't it?
Well, that's pretty bleak, yeah. But look, I think fundamentally it's going to be a very important thing for the next Prime Minister to address. That's obviously now going to be the focus, is how they fix the economy or what they do to the economy to bring all those things down. And so, yeah, whoever takes over from Bojo's got a bit of a job on their hands.
Hopefully they've got a big grand plan, and they're going to have to do some travelling themselves as well, because when they do get sworn in, they're not going to have a visit from the Queen down in London. No, they're going to have to go up to Balmoral and see her. And you know what? Good on her.
About time someone went to her for it, yeah.
You know what? She's cracking on a bit. We talk about this every week.
You do?
Yeah. I'm waiting, because I'm waiting.
You're waiting?
I'm hoping she doesn't die before I go on maternity leave.
Okay, cool. That's an interesting way to make it about you.
Anyway, yeah. So think of me, Queen. Seriously, come on, Liz. Anyway, well, on a serious note, she has been obviously quite unwell for some time.
Yep.
She's got mobility issues.
Yep.
I mean, granted, she's not having to walk from Balmoral to
Yeah,
London,
exactly.
but, it's an inconvenience for anybody at her age.
Yeah.
So, you know what? She's gone, you know what? I'm a queen, come to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think that's fair enough. And
Of
you know what? I
course.
think there should be a bit more of that from the royals. They're not celebrities. They're higher up than us. That's the whole idea of it, isn't it? The royals is that they're a higher power. I reckon she should just click her fingers and go, come to me.
Yeah, but
Come visit me, Boris. I'm on my holidays.
It's also just a bit stupid that everybody would just keep talking about it and keep writing about it if she didn't do it at all. Just ask Charles to do it. Just say you do it this time.
Yeah, go on.
That's
You
fine.
fill in for me this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we fill in for me on the roster. I've got a bit of holiday coming up.
Yeah, exactly. I did a late shift last weekend.
Fair enough. You know what? I think at her age, I'm not going to have a crack at the Queen, but I'm going to have a crack at Meghan Markle.
Well, I was going to say, no one really cares what the Queen's doing at the moment because...
Oh, my God. Is it? I mean, looking at the screen behind us, reading this headline, Nelson Mandela's grandson says you can't compare Sussex wedding and Nelson Mandela's prison release. Do you ever think you'd see that headline, really? When Meghan first appeared on the scene, did you ever think that headline would appear?
I don't know.
The fact that we're mentioning the two in the same sentence,
I know.
Meghan and Harry's wedding, and Nelson Mandela's release from prison.
I think, because I don't care that much about them.
You don't?
No, yeah, exactly. This is news to you. That I've kind of not defended her, but kind of tried to give a different side of the story for her. It must be weird coming into that family, all of this judgment, all of these things being talked about.
Have you a book coming?
That is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. Outrageous. Honestly, no South African has said to her, you marrying into the family, we celebrated that the same way we celebrated the release of Nelson Mandela, who spent 30 years in prison and then overturned apartheid. That didn't happen. And if that did happen and they did say it to her, don't ever repeat it out loud.
No,
because
it's obviously a wind-up, isn't it? And she's taking it seriously. But this is what she's revealed on her Archetypes podcast. It's only the second episode, and it's already, making waves.
Oh, well, this one, she definitely opens up a little bit more than the first one, though, right? So
yes, it's, look, I mean, let's be honest here. This isn't about the guests. It's about Meghan.
Yeah.
So this is all about promoting brand Meghan. I will say, as a cynic that I am.
Well, if that's the case, she's done yes, everybody's listening to it, everybody's reading about it, but she's done a terrible job of promoting her brand. I think this is where a lot of people have lost patience.
I think this is the whole point, though. The whole point is to create this buzz that she's still relevant, that people are talking about her. I feel like there's something could be coming here. I feel like she's not going to stop at this level of celebrity that she's got, right? She's gone from being a deal or no deal girl. Nothing wrong with that job, right? A very reputable job, other than them briefcases.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine it takes
briefcases don't hold themselves, do they?
Technique.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's gone from that to being an actress on, a TV show. Oh, we had about a million and a half viewers, right?
Oh, I did pretty well.
Probably more than this is ever going to get.
Well, yeah, exactly. More people have seen Suits than you. Yeah.
Until we get cancelled, at least. But and now she's a member of the royal family, and I feel like she's gonna run for president or something one day. There's going to come something like that. This is all about making her still relevant because they've stepped away from the royal family now. It's got to be the next big thing for her, and. She's got Mariah Carey on this week. Last week it was Serena Williams.
The People's Princess. Mariah Carey. Yeah, she really resonates with the people, doesn't she? So bring her on.
Out of touch she is.
I just, if she does have ambitions of running for president, which is fine, if she wants to do that, that's she's going to lose a lot of people that I think were okay with her. I think she had some intrigue within lower socioeconomic people or, people who are from worse backgrounds, because she is a normal-ish person, right? As in, she comes from...
She's a proper pleb, unlike Kate Middleton's family.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are not really plebs that live in a mansion.
But that's a really nice... that was actually a really intriguing thing when she first joined the family, was it someone coming out of... she's
straight out of Compton. That was the headline. It's wrong. She's not from Compton.
She's not from Compton. But no, regal bloodline. She's not. No. She's not from royalty. She's not from the upper classes. She's from America for a start.
She had a distant relative worked for the royal family. That's as close as you get.
But if she wanted to resonate with the people, the common people, then that is ended.
There's some of the quotes as well. I mean, this comes hand in hand with a magazine called The Cut. And, there she is. I mean, people saying that she's tried to draw comparisons with Diana with her pose on the front page. I mean, look, I think there's that many photos of Diana.
Yeah, exactly.
That you're obviously going to find one there. They've both got hands.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
They both have heads. Yeah, look, I think, I'm reading Tom Bower's book at the moment. So, I've got that in the front of my mind at the moment. And it's very anti-Meghan. I will disclose that. However, she manufactures everything by the sounds of it. That was no accident. I'm saying that comparison to Diana on that front page image, looking at them side by side, that's no accident.
That could have been the cut that was
It could have been, but, you know, seeing how much sway she has, they will be very thrilled. I mean, I don't know, the cut before now, have you?
I mean, it's not really my...
It's
not my area.
It's not on your iPad.
Yeah,
But I mean, everybody's heard of them now because of Meghan. She knows what she brings to a company. She knows what she's offering to them. And some of the quotes in this just show exactly what you said about her being out of touch. She goes on about how they couldn't afford their $14.5 million mansion. I mean, hello. This is literally on Millionaires Row. The neighbours at Oprah. For God's sake.
I mean, our audience can't afford Lurpak, but she can't afford a 14 million.
But the thing is, some of the things she says. I mean, she says, "Oh, it was like, you know, when we were looking at it, we didn't have a job. I mean, yeah, you work for the royal family, but we didn't have jobs." Yeah. And so
imagine not having a job and going, we can't afford that $14 million mansion. We've got to go a bit lower.
They still looked anyway. She's like,
it just kept popping up.
Felt a bit cruel because we were window shopping, you know, and it's just a bit torturous, you know. I'm like, mate, like we've got people who are listening right now, I've no doubt, in the UK that can't afford their rent this week. No. That, you know, this is the only bit of light relief they get, and it's the only reason they kept the Wi-Fi going is to listen to us.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Cut the Wi-Fi if that's the reason.
Laters. But yeah, like she's so out of touch. I mean, and this is somebody that, look, I mean, in America, I'm sure it's no different. The cost of living there will be a problem too.
This hasn't gone down well in America either.
Anyone.
Like, this hasn't got, like...
Some of the headlines have been scathing, haven't they? And Americans have turned against her. That's quite interesting, because it was always the British press against her. The British press are racist. They don't like to see a woman of colour joining the royal family. Well, now the Americans are on board too. Yeah, and look, I have to say that I think there was a subconscious or unconscious reality to that, the whole misogyny or the racial element of it. I think we all hope and believe that isn't the case, but I think there's some deep-seated problem, there where that has come into play. Yes, and now, unfortunately, none of it matters because she's just talking like it's and the thing she did in this that I've never ever seen anybody ever do in an interview is ask specifically for the interviewer. This is amazing.
Yeah, to articulate or write down her noises. So she wanted her to describe. Meghan Tuts. Yeah, Meghan.
Makes guttural noises.
Yeah, guttural noises keeps coming out. But the one that is like, she just puts, it's hard to describe what this is. Moaning, probably. God. My God. So she's just moaning through an interview. I mean...
Please don't write a book, Meghan.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't...
Hard to describe what this is.
And then on Sunday, I couldn't afford a $14 million mansion. Moaning, she said. It's...
Mate, really.
It's a bit weird.
I know. Look, I'm so over her right now, and I just do not think any of this is helping. But I think it is helping create this buzz around her. It's making people listen the next week.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen for her is this podcast to be a total flop.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be. Because it's her, and because she's sparking these headlines every single week now.
But I mean, the other thing she said, which again is just a bit. It's just a lacking self-awareness, is that she said she hasn't signed anything to say that she can't say anything, but she's just that good that she wouldn't say anything, so she won't say anything. But then she just kind of said some stuff.
She contradicts herself. Yeah, as she's just done, and her and Harry have done pretty much since they both came on the scene as a couple.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this going on. I'm really not liking hearing it. It's just... I mean, and the hard thing is as well, these are still members of the royal family. No matter how you put it, they might not be working members, but they're still very much high up in the hierarchy there. I mean, compared to, you know, the ones, you know,
but look,
the Beatrices and the Eugenies.
We all buy our houses based on the fact the two palm trees in the garden intertwine with each other. Like
that's another line. That's another line. So the palm trees intertwine with each other, and it's like mummy and daddy. Like, just no. Like, really? I'd look at that and go, that's going to cost a lot to chop them down. Effort. Can we get that on Strata? Honestly. Massively out of touch. And I think she's trying to resonate with that Hollywood set, you know, prove that she belongs there. And look, she has proven that she belongs there, but for all the wrong reasons, unfortunately. She's everything everybody dislikes about Hollywood and about the mega celebs. Yeah. And, I don't know how this is going to wash with the royal family. I don't know. Do you reckon the Queen's listened?
I mean,
she's stayed a few hours on a trip to London, hasn't she? She goes, oh, stick archetypes on. Let's see what she's saying.
yeah, and she's already caught up on this one. So, so she'd probably just
This
go...
is priority.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is first on the playlist.
Yeah, she listens to this 3 times and then she listens to that.
Yeah, she goes, this day I'm on the way out. I'm not.
Exactly. Lure back, they say. The one thing I don't buy into, though, is that it has any kind of deliberate release date or anything to coincide with Diana's... The death of Diana.
I mean, there's always going to be some anniversary of something, isn't there?
And so obviously that was this week. Obviously,
25 years.
I know.
Where were you when you found out?
I was on my way to go and play football. I remember it very vividly, actually.
Were you?
Mm.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So I thought you were gonna. I thought you might divulge where you were as well.
I remember switching the telly on, and I remember watching one, as a kids' TV or whatever for me and my younger brother, and just being flowers on every channel. Switching it off again because all these flowers about. And then my grandma called and told us and said, get your mum out of bed. You've heard what's happened. And then she told us. And I remember the guy down the supermarket crying at the local shop. Mm. Yeah. So he was very upset. And that went on. That felt like that Diana, a whole period of mourning. It was like nothing you'd ever seen.
Yeah, I remember it really vividly, actually.
Wonder what it was like over there. I'd like to know whether it was
similar. I would have thought, yeah.
But 2 weeks of news, basically all about Diana.
But yeah, and just 25 years has gone very quickly. But I mean, it does show you the power of her and her influence and all the things that she'll be remembered for, which are all good things predominantly.
Yeah.
Are still being talked about now, like a quarter of a century later, really. So
yeah, I think Meghan trying to compare herself to Diana. I mean, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But I mean, I think she's got a way to come.
I think she can be as disruptive, and I mean that in a positive way, to something that probably needs disrupting. But I think she might have gone about
Diana
it the wrong
did that
way.
in her own way, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
she was very endearing, and I think the thing about Diana as well is that she didn't seem to do this for her. She seemed to do this because she genuinely thought she could do good. And don't get me wrong, she did play the press by all accounts.
I think that's a little bit of.
But it's not all about her brand.
I think
there's no such thing as a brand.
I think that's a bit nostalgic, and it's also comparing a very different era, where like you couldn't manage your social media accounts or as in. There's
she
quite
put
a
up
lot
with
of
just
things
as much
changed.
flack from the press and the chasing from paps and whatnot. She put up with just as much.
Yeah.
I said there was a lot less in place to help people back then. And you couldn't get your own message out on social media. Speaking of which, actually, just going back to the Meghan thing, Meghan has said that they're going to start up Instagram again. So I am so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's just going to give us so much fodder in this game, isn't it? Just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, wow. Okay, so, well, Meghan, I think we all wish she'd go on strike like the Garbos, but she's not. But she's not. Do you like that segue? That's pretty good.
That's
the weirdest
segue in the entire time that we've done this.
This is pretty good. So, we call them Garbos over here.
Yeah.
Dustbin men or women. Dustbin people. That makes them sound like that thing from the Muppets, doesn't it?
Groucho.
Yeah.
Not Groucho, that's a Marx brother.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I know what I mean, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, people collect people's rubbish, right? I don't know what do they call them?
Waste disposal
technicians.
Yeah.
Waste disposal
technicians.
They've gone on strike anyway, basically. Not over their job title, I might add. So, I mean, this is particularly in Scotland, and they're saying it could run until November. So they're just seeing big piles of rubbish appearing in the street. I mean, this is madness.
It's pretty clever though. Like as in so basically this is Edinburgh, but so
what's going on in Edinburgh right now?
Exactly. So they coincided it to run with the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is Scotland's biggest kind of draw card, really. And like,
this is the only thing that happens in Scotland.
No, but it's a big.
The Queen's there. There must be something kicking on in Scotland.
I've been there twice.
You've been to Scotland twice. I used to have to go every
year. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
We used to get dragged there every year in a caravan.
Well, you're not selling it. I went because I wanted to go. You got dragged in a caravan. They're different things. That's what I'm saying.
Carry on.
Edinburgh Fringe
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And so it brings in lots of people. It's probably their biggest intake of tourists, I would have thought, in a short period of time. And they decided to coincide their 2-week strike during this period. And imagine that, just so much. Like, as in, you've probably already got 3 times the amount of waste that you'd normally have in the city because so many people are there. And it's just piling up in the middle of the street.
Rubbish. Oh, man. It just shows you how much rubbish we throw away, though, doesn't it, as well? Like, how much of a job these people do. I mean, what they're saying, this could be clearly a risk to human health.
Yeah.
They could be rats, vermin. That's bound to happen. It looks like something from the olden days, doesn't it? In fact, that picture probably is from the olden days, to be fair.
But I think it just kind of coming full circle, feeds back into the whole cost of living thing, the whole inflation thing. You know, there's obviously been a lot of public service strikes and lots of people asking for wage increases in line with inflation.
Yeah, we do have this footage as well. So this is these are the sort of demands that they're making.
So, Cosler, stop messing about, right? Because it's quite simple. Get your hand in your pocket, put your hand in the back of the couch, because there's always money there. It's how you choose to spend that money. And you need to start spending on these heroes here. Because if you don't, we're going to continue to take strike action. We're going to continue to let the rubbish pile up. So solidarity to everybody right across the country that is taking this stance today.
And if you're not going to pay to put your rubbish out, at least pay for this chap's elocution lessons. Because jeepers creepers, do you understand a word of that? And that's coming from me.
I think it's something
about money down the couch.
Yeah, and then something about a battered Mars bar, and that's all I got from it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This is the week we get cancelled. This is the week we outstrip Meghan in terms of audience this week.
Oh dear.
Do we need to call it a day before we get cancelled for good? I think we do.
You don't want to talk about sport?
Let's talk about a bit about sport.
We'll talk a little bit
We'll talk a bit about sports.
The sports this week. Oh yeah, no, look, not.
We talk about F1 a lot in our house.
Oh yeah, okay.
Put that out there. Yep, obviously Daniel Ricciardo's a hot topic. Aussie.
Because he's done.
Well, he's from here, isn't he, as well?
Yeah,
big deal.
But he's done.
We've seen him a couple of times hanging around here. I haven't.
Hanging around here?
Yeah, carrying up shopping centre. My husband's seen him at carrying up shopping centre, no joke.
We said the Aussie Pomcast set, like you've seen him hanging around. What are you doing?
Yeah. All right,
Dan.
Get
out of the way.
That's why you're not doing so good, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanging around here with us.
Need some driving lessons. Yeah, so he's done, right? That's.
Yeah, well, he hasn't got another team lined up yet, but he's been dropped by McLaren at the end of the year. He's not very happy about it, but you wouldn't be able to tell because he's grinning ear to ear in the footage where he talks about it.
And why is that?
Because he's getting a lot of money.
Yes, exactly.
So, you get a lot of money for coming out of your contract early. I think what there's talk, it could be $14 to $22 million.
You can buy a mansion in California for that.
He could help Meghan out.
Two intertwined palm trees.
Oh, can you imagine? That would be a match made in heaven, wouldn't it? Daniel Ricciardo and Meghan buy the ultimate mega mansion.
I don't think you can split them up like Harry and Meghan.
But do the palm trees intertwine? It's a big deal. And he's not got a team lined up. There's talk he could even go to NASCAR. Mm-hmm. And go banger racing, as we call it in NASCAR.
Who calls it that?
Banger racing. That's what it is, isn't it? It's just round and round and round. I don't know what he does. I don't think he'll come back here to WA.
No, he lives in Monaco.
He lives in Monaco.
Yeah.
So, all this talk about him being a homegrown, he was for a little bit, but yeah, it's like us, buggered off somewhere nicer.
Yeah, but it's the same as Luton Hamilton.
Just like Luton.
Lewis Hamilton, who did the same. He was from Stevenage, and then but he lived in Monaco.
Straight out of Compton,
straight out of Stevenage, and then went to Monaco as soon as he got the chance, or wherever he goes.
Why wouldn't you? If I had that kind of money, I would too. We get to hear what's going to happen with him, but obviously we've been very proud to have a West Aussie in the F1 for such a long time. I have.
You sound like you're going to cry.
I'm not emotional, don't worry. I'm not going to cry over him getting millions of dollars.
It's been so nice to watch someone from Perth come 6th and sometimes 8th in races that no one cares about or watches.
Get what? Well, hopefully somebody is still watching here. You got any sports you want to talk about? How y'all gone this week?
Played West Ham overnight. It was a draw. We've been playing quite badly, but doing okay. So it's not the end of the world. But all eyes now will move on to Champions League, because we're playing in that next week, so that'll be good. And the big talking point this week, I don't know if you saw it, was the Richarlison thing, him juggling the ball on the. Yeah, I think it was quite funny, and I think he's going to bring a lot to our team, but probably best don't do that. Yeah. As someone that plays football, I know that everybody I've ever played football with would have absolutely nailed him for that. So maybe don't do that.
In the changing rooms.
Don't do that.
We won't talk about Huddersfield because they're going nowhere. That's it for us. I think we should let people get off and focus on earning money for their expensive bills. Yay. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.